Alright, so this is our brief review slash unboxing that's already done of these Polaris Ranger LED cube replacement, headlight replacement. Overall, it's a pretty sweet setup. The brackets are, I mean, they're solid brackets. The LEDs seem to be decent thus far, but it's hard to tell without actually seeing them on the trail, so we'll see once we get them installed and see what they're doing. For the most part, is it worth the money? I don't know. We'll find out, see if it's actually worth it or not. I don't know yet. But the only problems, the only quarrel I have with it thus far is the lights came somewhat installed, like put together, the brackets and whatnot, which isn't a big deal, but half of the hardware is in my hand and just on the table. And so the sweet thing about this kit is that it's a plug and play kit. You got to just replace the housing, but you get this nice fancy connector that has your high and low beam setting on it, and you plug it in and turn them on. I mean, it's a pretty sweet deal. Yeah, I mean, you can't beat it. They got this great weatherproofing plug on them, and eBay isn't a place to go all the time. You know, there's some things that are kind of iffy about these connectors, but for the most part, I think they're going to be fine because they have a good rubber seal on them, and they're pretty tight putting them in. I mean, if we plug this light in right here, it's not an easy fit. I mean, it's nice and snug and watertight, so shouldn't have any issues with any kind of moisture or condensation. But let's get into taking the Ranger apart to put the new headlights in.
Alright, so I'm pulling off the plastic retaining clips. There's a Torx bolt that's on the top there. I believe it's like a T35 or T40. But you got to pull these plastic pins out, and sometimes, you know, they can be a pain even with a pin tool. I still got to use a screwdriver and pull them out. And there's some underneath the bottom, as well as the Torx bolts on the fender there. Once you get those out, it's not too hard. I just kind of pull the fender out of the way, and there's a rubber O-ring that kind of holds the headlight in, and then it's kind of snapped in there. But there is also a screw for the adjustment. You got to take that out, which isn't too hard. Once you get it all out, it's pretty easy. And the next, you just put the LED headlight bracket in there, and it's literally 3 bolts, three screws that screw into the factory locations, and you turn them on and give them a test run. And we're trying to figure out whether or not my selection of high beam versus low beam was going to work or not.
Alright, so we got one side in, and we ran into a bit of a snag that, it's not really a snag, it's just a personal preference, I guess you could say. But if you look at the lens, right, it all mounts up really nicely. There's 3 screws on that bracket, those gold screws, and they just screw right in, and it makes it really quick and simple and painless. But the problem I don't like about it is that I set this one as the high beam, and this high beam angles down, as you can see, and it is hitting the upper part of the bracket. So I'm going to see if I can't get it adjusted, try something around the bracket, or I'm going to just swap these two over, because this one seems a little bit bigger than the other one, and then we'll give her a test run. But it's pretty nice. All you got to do is plug them in. You plug them into that circuit, and then they're on the same switch. So all you got to do is, there's your low beam, and then you hit that, and there's your high beam. But the high beam's pointing at the ground more than the low beam is. So we're gonna do a little rearranging there and see if we can't get it figured out. So.
Alright, so now I moved on to the passenger side. And I kept working. It took me a minute to get that driver's side adjusted, and I ended up switching the high and the low beam actual LED cubes and putting them where that 4 LED cube was on the outside, and then the 8 LED cube was on the inside for the low beam. That's what I'm doing here, is getting the patcher side installed. Same process. Get everything pulled off, and then it's 3 screws. Screw it back in. Plug it in. And then right here I did have a little bit of a issue with one of the connectors, and it wasn't a big deal. It was an easy fix. Just the actual connector was a little messed up, but got it adjusted, got it fixed, and that's what I'm doing, is adjusting the headlights for the right angles, trying to figure out to make sure that they're actually going to work. And I think I got it to where it needs to be.
Here they are thus far. Bright as can be. I think I got them positioned just right to where they're pointing how they should. So the inner ones are going to be the low beams, and the outer ones will be the high beams. It's looking pretty good. So now I just got to button everything up, tighten up the wires in the back. You can see that here. The wires that ran down behind them. For the most part, the install is pretty easy. There's no real directions that come with the damn things, but whatever, I may do with what I had, which was my ingenuity, and I was able to get it done. So I'm going to put everything back together. I'm going to start drinking a beer right now since I'm pretty much done. Call it a night, and then we'll do a test and see how it turns out. I'm supposed to go to the glacier tomorrow, so hopefully it'll be light out, but maybe we'll be able to see how bright they are, and or at least tomorrow night I'll do a little test and then give you guys the info. So you guys take it easy. DeSoto, say bye. Say bye, DeSoto. Good boy.